Howdy y'all. Today we're going to be talking through the story behind Bucket List for Danny Gokey and Mitchell Tenpenny. So we got the video actually because I shot the previous Bucket List video. Mitchell in, what was it? August of 2020 was doing a music video, and I shot the behind the scenes for it. And on set I was hanging out with Kristen, his manager, and Mitchell, and we were all just talking about how we wanted to get away. And one of their friends actually had a place out in Sedona, Arizona. And so our idea, we were just kind of joking back and forth, is what if we went out there and made a vlog? Ended up actually being a full music video. Was my personal first music video I ever actually shot, directed, produced, and all that kind of stuff. Fast forward, it came out on January 1st of 2021. And then late this year, Kristen and the Mitchell Tenpenny team came up to me and asked if we would be interested in doing the one for the collaboration of Mitchell and Danny Gokey. And so it was an obvious yes for me. And so that's the backstory on how we got it, but then transferring into how we actually shot it. I got in contact with Sony, and we were trying to figure it out because this one, adding Danny Gokey, who's a well-renowned, unbelievably talented Christian artist, I thought it'd be kind of cool to integrate more of a church vibe. Mitchell talked about how he's praying and just trying to get his voice through the clouds, and I thought it'd be really cool to actually integrate kind of an old church. We saw like stained glass and all that kind of stuff, and so we ended up finding a place out in Lebanon, Tennessee, that was just an old church, actually from like the 1800s. And so we were able to utilize that, and I just felt like it would be so fun to use the visualizer as a one take. It had been in my mind for a really long time, and so I finally got to use this as an excuse to shoot it. We had the team together. It was Zach as our DP and camera op. I was directing and producing, and then we had a gaffer come in. His name's Talbot, and how would you say it? Sollenberger. Talbot Sollenberger was our gaffer that day, which it was a very minimal setup. Doing a one take to actually not showing off lighting was a task. But he killed it, and the whole team did incredibly well. We also had Brecken Hobbs out there with us, and she did a really good job helping us PA and kind of production design a little bit. And all of it kind of came together when we got together and just said, how are we actually going to make this work?
Right, so it's definitely complicated when it comes to one takes, because like you have to make sure that your pacing, where you start, where you want to go, and then where you end up, all lines up with the song and the movements that we do. So it's like figuring out, especially because we're having them run around behind the camera and get into different positions. So it's like, where are you going to run where you don't interrupt the light, or like get in front of the camera literally, or in a reflection. That there's just so many moving parts. One of the hardest parts actually was moving from literally outside, bright daylight at noon, into an indoor room.
That was a tough ask
our
on
exposure,
my part.
Our exposure is just like so crazy different. So the fact that Talbot was able to like really light this scene well enough to where I can like keep my exposure the same from going outside was like huge, and saved me a lot of time on editing and just trying to figure out how to change that. But yeah, it's just, it's a ton of work. It doesn't look like it when you're watching it because it's just one shot, but it's like, I'm holding this gimbal and focusing at the same time, and Tristan is walking behind me, making sure I don't trip over anything, and like also directing Mitchell and Danny at the same time. And I think Talbot even ran around with a light, an LED that he was like lighting us. So he was having to run behind the camera. I'm sure we have.
It was a big dance.
I'm sure we have some kind of video of it that looks how crazy it looks from behind the camera. But yeah, no, it was super fun. It's like those challenges are what makes it fun for us, really. It's like, why would we even be doing it if it was easy? It's like always trying to figure out a way to take it a step above and just do something that visually looks awesome and not so like plain.
And he took it to another level. Mitchell and Danny were both absolute pros. They just kind of said okay and trusted me with the vision.
I think we did it in like 3 takes, mainly because my physical being could not take more than 3 takes on that.
And those guys, it is silly how talented they are. Like these dudes were like singing while lip syncing, kind of doing the whole video, and it was just like, that's just dumb. It's like, just why are you that good?
It's crazy.
But yeah, and so it came together, and when it came to the editing side, there wasn't a ton to actually talk about when it came to the edit. One thing I want to point out that was really talented that Zach did was the lighting transition going from outside to inside was pretty stark. It was kind of cloudy, but you're going from outside to
almost
inside.
A non-lit room.
Yeah, like a very minimally lit room because we couldn't show off any lighting equipment.
Yeah, so like, when you obviously have 2 different colors, like one of these is going to have the highlights brought way down to kind of adjust for the outside, and the other one's going to have my shadows boosted way up. So like basically for the transition, you just take it and cross dissolve it across the timeline so that it looks natural. Like basically like your eyes adjust when you walk from outside to inside a room is what you want to try to mimic. And I think we did a pretty decent job at that.
Whatever.
But
He
shout
did an
out.
incredible job. That was Bucket List. It was really fun. We're incredibly thankful to Mitchell and Danny and the entire team for letting us be a part of it and trusting us again, which is really fun. So hope y'all dig it. Hopefully y'all got some good information, mostly out of him on this one when it comes to technical side. But yeah, it was fun. We look forward to doing more of these.
Yeah.